Welcome back to Network Africa. The bodies of 16 migrants have washed up on shore at the western Libyan city of Zawara, a Red Crescent spokesman said on Sunday. Al-Khamis al-Busaifi said the bodies which were recovered on Saturday were all men who appeared to be from sub-Saharan Africa. The bodies are decomposed and we have no idea when they drowned. That's coming from him in quotes. Well, Libya is a common departure point for migrants trying to cross the Mediterranean to Europe. They travel in ill-equipped boats that often break down or sink. More than 3,740 migrant deaths have been recorded this year in the central Mediterranean, most of them en route between Italy and Libya. And Algerian counter-terrorism forces on Sunday searched around the eastern city of Constantine after a policeman was killed in a rare urban attack by gunmen believed to be from a local Islamic State affiliate. Bombings and attacks are rare since Algeria ended its 1990s civil war with Islamists that killed 200,000 people. But Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb and small brigades of Islamic State affiliates are still active, mostly in mountainous areas or the remote south near the country's borders with Niger and Libya. 3 gunmen shot the officer in a restaurant in a northern district of Constantine late on Friday, and witnesses have been shown images of potential suspects in the attack. In March, police shot dead a woman who Well, moving on, French troops are on their way out of the Central African Republic, having been there since 2013. France's Defense Minister Jean-Yves said that he had told President Faustin Archange that troops could remain if necessary despite the withdrawal of the mission. Mr. Le Drian was in the capital Bangui to officially mark the end of Operation Sangaris.
3 years on, French Defense Minister, who had himself visited Central African Republic in 2013, announced the official end of the Sangaris mission, which he said had been a success. Sangaris handed over control to the United Nations forces, the multidimensional integrated stabilization mission in the CAR and the African Union, while some 300 French soldiers will remain in CAR. But many fear that without the strength and tactical expertise of the Sangaris, multidimensional integrated stabilization mission in the Central African Republic will fail to protect civilians. Louis Moguet of Human Rights Watch say it was probably too early for Sangaris to leave CAR as the multidimensional integrated stabilization mission in the Central African Republic was not as fast and tactically strong as Sangaris, who also had the benefits of powerful air support.
Quite fast, they had their own chains of hierarchy which they had to obey, so they're not in the UN system of the chains of hierarchy, and they have helicopters and armor that they can get out very, very quickly. And the United Nations is going to have to fill that void. They're going to have to do it 2 ways. Number one, they're going to have to deploy themselves much quicker and more effectively. And number two, they're going to have to work with national authorities. So this is the FAO, the National Army, the police and the gendarmes. They're going to have to work much more effectively with those national state security services to deploy and react much quicker when violence occurs.
In 2013, thousands of people fleeing the violence massed in Mpoko Airport in Bangui. Many of them were Muslims trying to fly to neighboring Chad. Thousands of others simply stayed in the shadow of the French forces who had set up a military base there. According to UNHCR, 29,000 internally displaced persons are still in Mpoko, living 50 meters from the runway. Their figures showed a total of 384,314 IDPs in CAR. President Touadéra is on the path of reconciliation to try and bring stability to the troubled country. But Muge says this won't happen until the perpetrators of the violence continue to control large parts of the country.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and the Egyptian Agricultural Ministry have joined hands to encourage farmers in rural areas to grow more nutritional crops whilst reducing their environmental impact. 15 schools have been built in the governorates of Beni Suef, Aswan, Sohag, Fayoum and Asud, where farmers inherit agricultural practices from their ancestors, growing mostly wheat, corn and barley. Meanwhile, at the Junior Farmers Field Schools, farmers between the ages of 16 and 23 learn to grow and market vegetables and beans. Potatoes, tomatoes, aubergines, okra, pepper, black-eyed peas, sesame, cucumbers and courgette are all examples of plants farmers are encouraged to grow at the field schools. Vegetables and beans grown via the projects are then taken to the nutrition kitchen schools, where the farmers' wives are encouraged to optimize the nutritional content of the meals they cook for their families. The project, Improving Household Food and Nutrition Security in Egypt by Targeting Women and Youth, is funded by the Italian Cooperation Development and hopes to create a legacy that will improve the health of future generations to come.
We want
to expand this experiment. It initially started on just half an acre. We hope to do it on 100, 200 and 300 acres, making us demolish the main problems that face agriculture in Egypt at the moment, such as the fragmentation of agricultural land and smallholders, which makes farmers unable to make the best use of their yields, which affects their income.
And back here in Nigeria, the death of the leader of the Cattle Breeders Association, Malam Ibrahim Jalido, who was killed over the weekend, is still generating reactions. Channels Television has been trying to unravel this killing, which the family members describe as unwarranted.
Sympathizers continue to visit the home of the slain Miyetti Allah leader. No one can tell what led to this killing. Not even members of the Miyetti Allah could see this coming. The State Secretary of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, Malam Suleiman Abubakar, describes the situation as unfortunate, saying the slain chairman was a peace advocate.
What we know is that Jalido is against any forms of criminality in Kogi State, more especially those attributed to our young Fulani boys. He has been up fighting them with all the resources he has at his disposal. This is what everybody knows him for.
Apparently looking disturbed, the wife of the slain chairman, Malama, tells a story of how her husband was taken away in the early hours of Saturday.
And that's our program today. Thank you so much for watching. I am BC Adebayo.